Good morning. Um, did you find out yesterday my post, the calm before the storm? Um, well, I know one thing it was the war, which I'm not going to go into because I'm not doing them vibes. Um, but I understand why I've been getting alarm all the time from with the cards and why it was affecting me so much. So we'll see what the cards say, and if I'm meant to tell you this, I should tell you. Okay. What's the energy, please? Oh, please don't do all that. I know. Let me take it one step at a time, otherwise I can't tell them. Right. So, there's a card. I just want one. Yeah. Nine of Swords. Okay. So, on the world stage, it's unnecessary for you with that war, with the war. That's all I'm saying. And the 9 is like a pause, just like I was saying, before you finish your final cycle, right? And it's going to be hard to say all this. This self-fulfilling cycle, this is what happens, right? Because I know lots of people are breaking up, and it happens every day and every minute to people. And if you can take something out of this, it could make you see clearly. It could break your heart. It could save your relationship, however you want to look at it, right? But this, yeah, right, okay. So what I was going to say was, right, when you first get with somebody, right, when you first fall in love, right, you're at the place. I mean, deep down, we all, I don't care if you're man or woman, there's a deep desire inside you to now it's going to be hard for me to say all this, so if I might stop and start, it's only just to gather my thoughts. There's a desire to have somebody in your life, sharing your life, a partner wise, that loves like you love. And when we fall in love, right, we miss, if we haven't got the wisdom or enough experience, or even if we have, we can still fall in the trap, right? We glaze over. It doesn't matter, because you're in the throes of passion. You love each other. You're in love, and it doesn't matter about them things. Some things are big, some things are little, and you think, I don't care about any of that. But as time goes on, and you get, life gets in the way, you settle down, time goes by, there's children maybe, there's work to do, you get stuck and unmotivated, and you forget all the foundation that you once had, right? And you can lose yourself in this. And yeah, what comes in, okay, I know what they're trying to make me head for. So, big breath. So what can happen is, as this time goes on, right, you you it's not like game playing on purpose. It's like because you love each other, and it starts once you start to drift apart, but you don't realise it. And this is what I'm saying to you, right? Egos get in the way. People's ambitions get in the way. People saying being yes all the time to please the other person gets in the way, right? Rivals get in the way. There is many things that can get in the way of your love for each other, right? Um, and yeah, the give and take can go, right? The trust, you can lose the trust depending on what happens between you, and you keep trying to get into balance all the time, and all this is going on, and it's all going on underneath, and you don't really speak about it, and you okay, just bear with me. So this is just what's happened to me. I picked that up, and it's the deer, right? That's how I know I have to say all this, right? So life goes on, and your give and take goes. Sometimes one's more giving, sometimes one's not. But for me personally, the material things side of things doesn't matter. It's the emotional, right? So, and that is usually the feminine side. That's the feminine aspect, right? That's you you well, you tend to be more on emotions, and with all the things that get in the way, and all the things that you do to each other, you think, we're strong. We've we've got over this. We've got over that. Look how strong our love is. We still love each other. But when too much happens in a relationship, and you don't see it and you don't catch it, um, it turns into, you kind of settle into you doing your own things. That look, when you look at each other, that what you can see in their eyes. I'm annoyed they're making me do this. That look goes, or it's very far and few between, because you've settled in, and you've settled. That's what you do. You settle for your lot without even realizing. So the arguments creep in, and you can both vie for control and power. You can both manipulate. You could say lots of things to make them think you do this to each other, that you're better off with me. You know what I mean? The grass isn't greener on the other side, and you can do this unconsciously, but sometimes you're doing it consciously, and you know that you're doing it. And this just this is just telling me to hold my ground. So you know that's right. Hold my ground. You tit for tat each other, and it can start to become, oh, with the arguments, obviously. Then it's like the sex is the makeup, and you become, this is what this is all on about, right? It's a self-fulfilling cycle, because you that's how you can get into this cycle. You may be in it now, right? And if you are, I am saying this to save you. So you think, oh, that's good, we've made up, and that's it. And then it becomes that maybe that it might be different for other people, that maybe this thing that makes you talk or makes you, you know, be friends again, or um, it gets to where that's it. That's all it needs, and you don't need to speak about anything, and you bottle things up and push things down, and you build up resentments, and sometimes you don't like them, sometimes they don't like you. Sometimes we feel we play the martyr, and and we'll say they've done this and they've done that, and they'll say the same, and it's shit. That's what it is. It's shit. So I don't know whether it's going or not. Yeah. So you carry on, because the thing being is, all that you do know when you get to this point and where you become rivals, well, I did this and I did that, well, oh, so what? I know how that feels, blah, 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 cack, right? It's just words. And all you know is that there is still love there, but the in-love part has gone, right? You don't keep the in-love part going. You take each other for granted. So that's if ever you were compatible anyway, because the ones is lust. Do you know what I mean? Some of it can be just pure lust and taken for part of the love, which yes it is, but not when it's used as makeup and, you know, we're all right now, aren't we? Yeah, yeah, we'll just brush all that under the carpet, and then yeah. Sorry, I have to tell you this because it's going to help somebody somewhere. So that goes, and you still, you know that you love them. You keep going, right? But then what happens is one grows and one doesn't, or you grow different ways, right? And a lot of the times, it's the woman can grow. She can find hang on, just backtrack a bit. So it goes along till eventually you will come to a crunch point, right? And it's usually when the one who has grown, who is awakened, who can see everything, and you know, and you think, oh my God, if only, I'd have known this, if I'd only known this, that, there, and everything, and now I wasted all this time. We've wasted all this time. You're breaking up. Your heart's breaking. You get blocked along the way with like every one wanting to control the other in it. So you don't know you're doing this sometimes. You know, you have to forgive yourself, and you have to forgive each other. So money, yeah, you're going to argue about that, aren't you? That's just one thing. That means nothing, right? In the great scheme of things, it's nothing to do with your heart. And it can become like you just carry on like you're robots, really. You're sticking to the things that you do, they do. And all the while you can be hurting inside. You think, where did all that go? Where's it gone? I don't know about you, but for me as a woman, the emotional part is far more important than anything. The emotional and the love is more important than anything. So what happens is you you get to this stage and you think, I can't do this anymore. You might both get to this stage where you think, I can't do this anymore, right? It's not working, and this is the sad part, because you, if you're listening carefully, you can stop this, you can halt it, but it has to be both of you. Do you know what I mean? You can't have one just giving all the emotional support all of the time. It leaves you depleted. And when you're doing that for somebody all of the time, they expect that. And once you start like growing apart and moving apart, and you're not giving that, look, there's the Empress, and you're not giving all that emotional support anymore, you start giving it to yourself, right? And new opportunities come in, and you feel clear about things, and you understand things more, and you look at yourselves and you think, this is so sad. And so as you it almost forces you to go inside and do the Empress things, and searching yourself, and you still think, oh, if only I knew, if only I know what I know now, right? If only I knew myself how I know myself now, all this could have been avoided, right? And you might have big bust-ups and you're blaming each other, and you're not listening to each other. You don't listen because you both think you're right. And you are, in a way. And then you go through a phase where you think, well, maybe I don't want you, but I don't want no one else to have you neither. It makes you remember that the intimacy that you had, and for a woman, that's, for me, that's the most important part, is the intimacy of it. And you think, and you start to see, and you start to realise that it's nothing to do with this person. You can both trigger each other. It's pointless playing the blame game. And you realise that what you were looking for all along was inside you, right? You need to get to this Empress. You need to know yourself inside out. You need to go there, and not many people want to. Sometimes it's a dark place, like this is the journey. This is the journey of your life. And you realise that it's nothing to do with that person. It's a crying shame, because if you'd have known what you know now, it could have been different. And because they did this, right, and because they did that, we are now in this position, and now we broke up, or we're breaking up, and it's all their fault, and you can get bitter and twisted, and you can call them names, and you can say it's all them, and till you come to the place where you realise that all the heartbreaks that you've had in a romantic way, right, it was to teach you. It was to teach you about yourself. That's what it's all about. That person that you are hurting over now, that person that you love, it's not about them. It's it, they are put there. You think, all this has happened to me. They've done this and they've done that, and you think, you know, why does this happen to me? All I ever want to be is this. This is why they've been shoving it under my nose and throwing it in the readings. It's all to get you to this. It's all to get you to the Empress state, where you can feel abundance in yourself. And I'm not saying that you don't hurt, because you will, but you realise that that's what it was for. All that you've gone through with this person was to teach both of you, right? And sometimes, and this is the crucial bit, sometimes you can both reach that together. Do you understand? If you're both savvy enough to see what's going on. If you don't see, it's one person who's going to see it, and the other person will just think, you've changed, you don't, I don't know what's happened, it's confusing, it's hurtful for both of you, and it is a crying shame. So you do come to that point where you think, okay, I'm not going to blame this person. I'm not going to blame myself. I will forgive us both. That's all you can do. You have to forgive each other. And if they want to go doing whatever they're doing, whatever, that's fine. But you've got to keep yourself together. You've got to, if you could come out of this, if you come out of a breakup and you've still got this, then you're amazing. You're absolutely amazing to go through all that you've been through together, and you still can love. You can still be vulnerable. You can still open your heart. And that means that you won't take all of this into any other relationship. You will be changed for life. So what you've got to do in that situation is you've got just let go. If you've got to let go, you let go, right? Because this is what will bring you back into balance. You will still trust, right? If you're not, because these experiences can make you bitter and twisted, and I've seen it in people, and it ruins their life, and they're never happy, and they never feel fulfilled, and they blame all the men, that blame them, it's all their fault. And I'm not saying it is, I'm not saying it isn't, but what was there first, what you've got to begin with, keep it, and even you won't even fall when you get to this where you have fulfilled yourself, that any relationship now that comes along, that in all your relationships, not just romantic ones, you will know the give and take of it. You will understand the abundance that you have in you. You can walk away proudly, with grace, and not playing the blame game. And it is going to rip your heart out. It's going to hurt. But it's not going to hurt as much as it would have done with the breakups of where where you're full of it, where you're full of hatred, and people try to sabotage the other one, and the, you're calling each other on social media, and that's nowhere to go, is it? That's nowhere to be. That's not respectful at all. If you don't want anybody to do that to you, then don't do that to them. You stay in your own lane. You do what you've got to do, anything that you've got to do to keep your sanity, to keep you balanced, to keep your heart open. I know what you're feeling, and all the work that you do, and you can still be this. Um, you'll stop with the if only. Everything and every person that you've come into contact with up until now in your life, right where you are, right, have been put there for a reason, right? And it's the reason to wake you up to your true self inside. And people have asked me many times about marriage, and I've never been married, and it's not because I don't believe in it. It's because I really do. I absolutely do, and I think when you get married, you it should be not just for life; it's for eternity. That's the importance of it. It's not just some throwaway thing. And this is why many times, yes, I've gone to get married, but I don't. There's something that's always stopped me. And I know why. You'll know your reasons. But anyway, I hope that you've took something out of this. I'm sorry I've had to stop and start. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. That's been coming out for a reason, because it may help you. It may save. It may save you. And and when you know how you know that you're balanced inside is because you still don't want to hurt that person.